Hi there. So my name is Andrea Mai, and I'm a quantum touch practitioner. I do transformational work with my clients, and Gene was my mentor in quantum touch, continues to be. And so we want to talk to you today about autoimmune disorders. And Gene, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Gene Skaggs, and as Andrea said, I'm a level 2 instructor, and she's got all classes under me. So, she's very qualified to do what we're doing right here. And I'm going to have Andrea explain a little bit about the autoimmune disease and also some other areas that she works in with it. And then I'll strictly look at it from a energetic perspective. So I'll let her go ahead and take over.
All right. So some statistics about autoimmune disorders. Oh, there are over 80 types of autoimmune diseases. Some of the common ones that you might be aware of include rheumatoid arthritis, type 1 diabetes, lupus, multiple sclerosis, connected to the brain, Crohn's disease, which is connected to the stomach, Hashimoto's, which is connected to the thyroid, and different skin diseases. Right now, there are over 50 million people, 1 in 6 in the United States alone, that experience this disease, and 70% of those are women. The third highest cause of death is connected to autoimmune disorders. Medical science isn't sure exactly what causes it, but the contributing factors include environmental pollutants, your diet, emotional stress, and genetics. And it's a chronic disease which requires a lifestyle change. And that's what I'm.
Okay. Do you want to tell them a bit about how you would handle what you've been experienced with autoimmune disease?
Yeah. So for me, the primary way that I work with people is really getting into the emotional response and how it plays out in our body. And what I've noticed with many people that I've had conversations with over the years, many people that I've worked with, it always seems to come back to some sort of trigger event, whether we necessarily recognize that or not. You might say, I walked out in the woods and I got bit by a tick. I'm not negating anything, but I'm saying oftentimes it's exacerbated because of the emotional situations in our life at that moment in time. And so typically I work with that. So I look at environment, like, are there toxins in our environment or toxins we're ingesting into our bodies? What is our emotional state? It could be tied to a long ago pattern, habit, and ancestral energies and patterns that come through for us. And that's where I start. So Gene, you take a little bit different. We both work with emotions in different ways, but Gene takes a little bit different approach.
Okay, first of all, let me explain to you basically what autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease is the cells, and especially the T cells, which is in the thymus. The thymus is the headquarters of the immune system, lymphatic system. It's a place where T cells are manufactured. And what happens is these T cells have little antennas on there, and they seek out, when working properly, they seek out what's called foreign invaders. And then what they do is they attach to them and secrete a chemical, and then sends the messages back to the other T cells, and they get down and they go after these foreign invaders. Well, what happens is the T cells get confused and they start attacking healthy cells as well. Okay, so what I would do is, from strictly looking at this from an energetic perspective, I would run energy into the thymus with a main focus on the T cells with the little antennas on there. But one thing very few people are aware of, you have what's called a pituitary gland right in this third eye area right here. Some modalities call it the God gland. Quantum touch and quantum physics are not going to use that word. They stay away from any religious words, but it's the major gland. And what that does is it goes straight down the body, and it regulates everything that's in alignment with that. And one of the things it regulates is the thyroid. And so when you run energy in there with the intention of raising the energy in the pituitary gland and the thymus, then it regulates
Thyroid or thymus?
the thymus.
Okay.
The thymus. Again, it does regulate the thyroid also.
Okay.
But it's the thymus is where the T cells are produced, and this is what we're looking at in the autoimmune disease. So, so when you run energy in there, what happens is then the T cells, they stop attacking the healthy cells. So that'd be one area you'd want to work on. A byproduct of autoimmune disease is inflammatory issues. Okay, and the number one place that I would work on it would be the pineal gland. The pineal gland is anti-aging, anti-cancer, anti-stroke, regulates the it regulates melatonin and serotonin, but it's, like I say, it's anti-inflammatory. So that's one of the great areas. But I would also address for the inflammatories, I would hit the thyroid in the liver and the sacrum in the back right there. And also, science has found out that all diseases start in the gut. So I would really work right up here and in the back. You want to turn around and Andrea? Okay, right in here you have what's called vagus nerve. Technically, it should be called vagus nerves. You have two of them right there where the brainstem ends. You got one on each side. It follows down the spinal columns and goes around to all the organs in the body right in there. And it ends in the gut. So that would be the areas that I would work on energetically. So
yeah, and so I want to say too, it's very interesting because we can look at these as physical, right? The physical body areas or the emotional body, right? And both they connect all in all ways, really. When things come from the gut. You've got the solar plexus and the sacral chakra areas, energetic areas. We store a great deal of emotion in there. The work I've been doing with many people recently is how much it's stored in the sacral, in the energetic womb, and the emotions that we trap in there deep down into the root chakra as well. And so that there are often underlying reasons, especially with autoimmune. It's something that people often, if they've lived with it for a long time, it becomes a situation that they identify with it, right? They carry it in them as part of their identity. And so that's where I love to work with the energetics around identity and stories and how can we unravel those? We don't have to necessarily get into the nitty-gritty of a person's story, but the emotional energetics and where you were at one moment in time and how that began weaving, in with the physical experience. It's fascinating anyways. So I'm going to stop now.
Well, let me just add, that was beautiful. One thing too, in quantum touch, we do address it energetically, like she said, but the ways that we go about it is like that. When I say somebody come with rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune disease, not only would I work on the areas that they have it, but also this is what I would say. I would have them close their eyes and I'd say, when you think of your rheumatoid arthritis, where do you feel that emotionally in the body? And I'm just coming up with something. Let's just say they say right here. Okay, it doesn't mean they got a heart problem. It just means that's where they're storing it emotionally. So you would run energy into that area where they say it. Now, what happens sometimes, the emotional issues don't want to get caught. So while I'm running energy here, sometimes the client will feel something pop up here, or over here, and then in quantum touch, they call it chasing the pain. So if it goes over here, we just run over here and chase it. But once again, I want to stress this, it's got nothing to do with an organ. It's just emotionally, that's where it went to. So, and they'll have our names and stuff on the
if you'd like to, if you're
just like the other ones.
Experiencing any of this, or someone in your family or circle is experiencing this, and you'd like to talk to either Gene or myself, our information will be down below in the description under the video, so you can connect with us that way. And
we also, we don't have to do it in person, really. I would say probably 80% of my clients now they don't call them long distance, they call it non-local. you do a non-local, so anything you're not touching someone, it's a non-local session.
Yeah.
So we had fabulous results in that area also.
Yeah.
So,
So wonderful. Have a beautiful day, and
Yeah.
we will connect with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.